Hello, everybody. Scott Golden with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel here. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. There's over 600 audios for you to check out in a variety of topics. And if you're looking for life, relationship, business coaching, I would love to be of service to you. Also offer entertainment coaching if you're interested in that as well. Today's particular audio is about leadership thought patterns. And so if you want to be a better leader, I work with people to lead companies, their households, and all sorts of other fun things. So if you're interested in working with me, a couple of ways you can do that at PO Perception on Twitter and or in the About Me section of this page. You can connect with my website, go from there. So, leadership thoughts or leadership actions. There's about 7 or so things I want to run through here. First is they invest in themselves. Whether it's coaching, whether it's programs, whether it's the benefit of accountability, accounting, individuals who are willing to do the tasks they don't want to do, such as virtual assistants and or personal assistants, education, continuing education, seminars, and other things. They invest in themselves and they bank on their skills. This is a continual process. It does not stop when someone has reached a certain level because these individuals understand there's always new things to learn, always different ways to grow, always different ways to go. It's not necessarily right or wrong to do these things, and the commitment has to be to the overall growth of the individual. The commitment is not necessarily to an outcome or a destination, but continual growth because the needs of the public, professionally or personally, will grow. Sometimes people go to relationship seminars to balance themselves out, to avoid conflict, to avoid divorce, to avoid many different things. Other times, getting a relationship coach or therapist can be helpful in the same way. At the same time, the process is self-motivated. It's not at the suggestion of another person because the self-motivation means that a person will stay more committed to the process of whatever they're learning if it is motivated by their desire to get something out of their daily experience. The next is they listen. So active listening is the process of understanding that it's not what someone says a lot of the time, it's how they say it. And so learning how to be present moment minded when listening to a person speak without asking too many questions until they are complete in speaking, and also being engaged enough to know how to ask the right follow-up questions is a very valuable skill. Leaders who do this also are able to keep people motivated because the employee or family or friend or other person feels more heard. Thereby, they're more likely to move towards the idea of being helpful and useful for the future. Then the next thing to look at is they're always looking for feedback, positive and negative, ways to improve what's already working, and the willingness and surrender to address that which is not working. At the end of the day, it's all about balance. So, just because someone says something negative doesn't mean it to be true. Just because someone says it to be positive doesn't mean it to be true. Taking the mindset of the conversation forward without expectation of something being 100% true or 100% false allows for reflection, allows for growth and development in a way that leads to positive resolution. When a person begins to understand their own responsibility for positive resolution when they're listening to something, that is, taking what works for them and ignoring what doesn't, it becomes significantly easier to get to a place where making balanced, intelligent, and useful decisions for the benefit of all involved is easier and more beneficial. So in the end, it's about finding the balance between taking information, believing it at face value, but also questioning the usefulness and discerning which parts are useful and which parts may be harmful. Another leadership approach is belief in a higher power, and also belief in the ability of things to consistently change. Change is one of the inevitable parts of life. People change, situations change, circumstances change, needs portfolios change, and so when we believe that a higher power, whatever that may be, even if it's something as simple as scientific theory or as complicated as a spiritual practice, when there's something greater than ourself that we believe in and put some degree of hope or faith into while remaining grounded in the facts that are in front of us, that's where one can lead. The belief in change and the belief in positive progress are two things that even a person who doesn't have a spiritual practice can choose to believe in that will move them forward. Good leaders also are clear on their strengths, clear on their weaknesses, clear on their goals and visions, but also clear on their obstacles. The more clear a person is, the easier it is for them to obtain whatever it is they're looking to do, be it personally, professionally, or otherwise. When one begins to understand the value of being clear, they can also see whether or not the people or situations they're in are going to be in, in remedy or in balance with where they're going. Sometimes you outgrow people, sometimes you outgrow ideas or concepts, and sometimes you outgrow the desire to continue doing what you're doing. Being honest with yourself and being clear on where you're going and where you've been allows you to remain in balance when making future decisions, but also being caring and considerate and compassionate to those whose life may be changing and you may be affecting indirectly. The next thing is have your own ideas. Rather than falling into group and herd mentality about situations or religion or politics or anything else, think about what you believe from the standpoint of why do I believe what I believe. Understanding your why is much more valuable than taking on any singular or group of beliefs. When you understand your why, you can articulate what you believe in a new way, which will help you to become exactly where you need to be. The next is understanding the act of becoming. So, the evolution of change in a person is never ending. So who you are today and who you are tomorrow will be different. The differences may be subtle, they may be minute and minor, but they will change. When you begin to understand that you are an evolutionary being who is capable of changing in all ways when one desires to, that is where your power truly comes from. And leaders understand the evolutionary changes are things they have to check in with and reference against so that they can maximize their moments and use their time well. Hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.